right and what went wrong. It's time for the Green Bay Football Postgame Show, brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. Let's get to your hosts of the show, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer and Tommy Wirtz, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Well, here we are. The game is not done as we speak. 21 seconds to go in this one as we broadcast live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky is here. Tommy Wirtz is other side of the glass. The Packers lining up to punt. Wheeling will be at about his own 5 when this one gets snapped to him. 21 seconds to go. Packers are up 27-20 in this game. And I'll be honest with you, considering everything that has gone wrong in this football game, and there has been a lot that has gone wrong in this football game. So even with a Packers win, to escape this with a win, considering everything, to me is a gigantic deal for the Green Bay Packers. A gigantic deal. Because, yes, we all wanted the Packers to blow out the New York Giants. Yes, we all wanted them to win convincingly. But you lost several players due to injury in this one, right? You lost Jordan Love due to injury. You lost Josh Jacobs due to injury. Now, Love came back, obviously, but Jordan Love was out for a while. Malik Willis gets a touchdown, which was nice. You lose Josh Jacobs to injury in this one. Romeo Doubs, he got banged up multiple times in this game. I mean, there was a lot to overcome from a Packers standpoint in order to still figure out a way to win on the road in New York against the Giants, a game in which I'm not going to say was a must win or anything crazy like that, but you definitely did not want to lose this football game to the New York Giants. That is for certain. Last play of the game, Jameis Winston gets hit from behind, and the Packers get the win 27-20. Let's open it up. Let's go. Nicolay Law talk and text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. You can also, of course, use the social medias. We are live on X. We are live on YouTube at WI Sports Radio, Stream us live at the website as well, at wisportsradio.com. Micah Parsons with a hit from behind on Winston as he tried to throw a Hail Mary there at the end and caused the ball to come loose. Packers were able to recover it. Game, set, match. Packers win. Tommy Wirtz, your thoughts?
That game was way too stressful and way more stressful than it needed to be this Sunday. I think that this Packers team, even with a victory, I see a lot of problems with this team that need to get fixed in the next month. Right now, I think that this Packers defense might be a little overrated right now. I think that two things can be true, that I want to see Jordan Love play a little bit better, but you cannot look at this game on the offensive side and think Jordan Love was the problem. The offensive line and the wide receivers are both much bigger problems than the quarterback play, in my opinion, as well. And I just couldn't believe that Green Bay kept it like that. How many interceptions were they going to drop before they caught one? How many?
3 or 4.
7 drops today, too, from the wide receiver room. The offensive line is the least intimidating offensive line after they tried to spend so much money on it this offseason and beef it up. That was a complete whiff. Thankfully, they escape with a victory.
Zach Tom leaves. That's another guy that ends up leaving. Kennard ends up having to come
in. One more thing. We got to stop talking about kickers. Just stop talking about it, because
there's no chance of stopping now after this fiasco
today. You're never going to get it right then, because
but Tommy, everybody's going to blame the wind and say the wind was out of control. The one extra point that he took, the ball was going straight, and he literally saw the wind just go whoop and move it directly to the left. Now, the Giants kicker, he pulled one directly left. Okay, that wasn't wind. His leg came across his body and so forth. That second extra point, though, was definitely going straight and then went left. I think it was to the win. Now, again, bad snap. The laces weren't facing the kicker and everything else that went along with it. Sean Ryan, separate of that, as far as snapping the ball at Jordan Love, didn't have a great day snapping the football either, if we're being honest, as far as him playing at center. The one ball that Love missed was way to his left. He had to reach out and hit it down with his left arm. He snapped another one. Love had to jump up in the air to get off the shotgun. So, yes, there are plenty of issues to discuss, but let's remember everything else. They won. And that should be the most important point of today's Green Bay football postgame show, powered by Lakeland University. Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Now they went to the Falcons-Panthers game, and apparently Penix left the game due to injury. Panthers trying to drive now to take out the Atlanta Falcons. That game is in Atlanta on top of everything else. All right, let's get to some calls and see what y'all got to say. Some text messages as well. Greg in Waukesha, you're first up on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. Greg, your thoughts on a Packers victory today?
Sparky, man, this team, they don't call them the cardiac pack for nothing. You know, I have to give them this, though. Next man up, okay, yeah. Did any of us know about Josh Wiley before this game? No, I didn't hear about him. He had like one or two catches. You know, I'm just gonna say this. We're not making a Super Bowl, you know, this year. I think we'll make the playoffs. I think we'll maybe make it into the first or second round of the playoffs. But even with everybody healthy now, Jordan Love is, you know, whatever happened with him, I don't know what his thing is going to be. Clay Walker's, you know, but if this team keeps playing next man up, maybe we can do something. But unfortunately, you know, there are only so many men that we can put in, and obviously now we need, you know, some help in special teams, and we've known that all year. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is we need a lot of help, and I just hope we get a good draft next year. You know, draft some offensive linemen, draft some people who, you know, can get in there, start making plays. But yeah, that's where I'm at, Sparky. Thanks.
All right, Greg. Thanks for the call. I am not there. I am not they're not going to the Super Bowl. They're not that good. This team, you know, whatever. Season's over. First of all, you won the game despite numerous injuries, despite numerous drops by both the DBs and the wide receivers in this football game. And your starting quarterback leaves, and yet again, Malik Willis, a backup quarterback, comes in and gets you a touchdown. Huge props to Malik Willis to come off the bench cold to be able to pull that one off. So props there too. I just think there's a lot of negatives, sure, that we can talk about. But I'm not ready to write off a Super Bowl or a deep drive in the playoffs when you've got several weeks to go in this thing. Again, all you need is this team to be hot going into the playoffs. That's all you're looking for. Just get hot at the right time. Yeah, they're not getting a lot of turnovers on defense. But here, last couple of weeks of the season, all of a sudden they get a couple turnovers in this game. They get a couple turnovers from that game. Becomes a little bit contagious, and all of a sudden this defense steps up when they have to. As far as giving up points and so forth from a defensive standpoint, it wasn't a horrible game necessarily by this Packers defense. They did enough. Now, would you have liked to see them do more? Yeah. I mean, the Giants had half their offense out in this football game due to injury. So I think coming into the game today, you're like, okay, well, this better be a Packers win for sure, if nothing else. But I think a lot of people were expecting a Packers blowout, which clearly did not happen, because a lot of which had to do with them between injuries and self-inflicted wounds. What say you, Nicolay Law Talk? Text line 414-677-1250 after a Packers win. I feel like there's going to be a bunch of people wanting to vent after this one, even though the Packers won. We'll see which way the fans take us today, Tommy Wirtz.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this is a no room for vent game. The Packers, there was something all week talking about how this Packers team can run the football wherever they want. And I know Josh Jacobs gets banged up, but the Giants outrushed them in this game. The Packers' rush defense might have been one of the biggest mistake stories at the beginning of the year. I think that their offense came out firing early on, and it'll made teams have to pass the ball
Offense,
a whole lot
by
more.
the way, back at 27. Like
They just anytime they hit 27, they're going to win the football game. Yeah, it's unreal. And I think this Packers front four, Hafley again, just not trusting his guys. Trust the Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary to get home, and I don't think they do as much as we would like to see out of them. How many dropped interceptions are they going to have? Isaiah McDuffie's best play on pass defense was knocking it out of Javon Bullard's hands. Yep. I mean, this is unbelievable that they get one at the end because they had so many opportunities to get one earlier in the game, to take control. There was the big 4th down stop, and the Packers went 3 and out immediately after. We talked about that in the 4th quarter of this game too. They just don't understand the situation, it feels like, ever. Both sides of the football. I can't see this Packers team ever capitalizing on the offensive side when they need to, or on the defensive side when they need to this season right now. Luckily, they did at the end of the game with Christian Watson and Evan Williams. Yeah. But throughout the game, honestly, I don't see it as a Matt LaFleur problem even in this game. I see it as a personnel problem, and I don't think the team is all that good.
At the end of the game, Jameis Winston and the Giants were driving, having a chance to either tie or maybe go for 2 and win in the closing seconds, and this happened.
Winston fires. Enzo off target, picked off. It's Evan Williams with the interception. They have come close and close and close all day, and Matt LaFleur and Jeff Hafley's defense finally gets the takeaway they've been looking for.
Can I bring up another point?
Tyler Kersey of Fox. Drew Brees on his first game as an analyst.
Yeah, I mean, don't wear the scarf in your first game, Drew. But what I will say this, we were talking about how great the Packers are on 3rd down, right? They were 7 for 11 today. That was awesome. Who was it Dan Orlovsky talking about how putrid they are on 2nd down? Or was it Ben Solak? It was one of the two, I believe. But this team never is trying to make a play happen unless it's on 1st or 3rd down. That's the other problem at this team right now. 2nd down, they punt every time. They run the football every time. And I can't believe that they keep getting away with it. I'm frustrated with this team after today's game, even with a win.
My issue is you have that huge drive by the Giants there in the second half that ends up going nowhere because they end up turning it over, right? The Packers get the ball. They had the ball for what? Like 7 or 8 minutes. It was like a 16-play drive. You hold them. They go and gain points. You come out 3rd down. Watson chucks the ball down the field on 3rd down, doesn't complete it, and now you have to punt. So your defense has been on the field the whole time, and you can't even get a 1st down to help your defense get some rest. Like, we start talking about decision-making and so forth. That's where I have issue, is in that moment, before you throw that ball, think to yourself, and maybe before you even snap that ball, it should be Matt LaFleur going, Jordan, get a 1st down here. We need to give our defense a little bit of a breather here. Don't play hero ball.
That was a drop. It was another drop.
I don't care if it was a drop or not. My point is you just needed to get the 1st down and move the chains. You want to throw that ball on 1st down, to your point, go ahead, throw the ball on 1st down. 2nd down, fine. But 3rd down, you got to get that 1st down considering they were just on the field forever. So now you go make that play, and yeah, it doesn't work with Watson, but regardless, now they're back on the field again. Instead of just taking the 1st down, moving the chains, throw your hero ball on 1st or 2nd down and see what happens.
I want to be critical of Jordan Love because I do think that maybe I was a little too excited at the beginning of the year, but he's good. This was a terrible game for the wide receiver room. And as great as Christian Watson's play was at the end of the game, needs to come up with that football on 3rd down in the play you're talking about.
Nicolay Law talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Scotty Tiffany says it's hard to be excited about this win against a 2-8 team without sarcasm. That's fair. But you also do have to realize that this team had lost 2 in a row itself. This offense had been struggling for 2 consecutive games, and they had a lot go wrong in this game, and we're still able to come back and win. Now you get a Vikings game coming up on Sunday, and then the big matchup against Thanksgiving against the Lions. that Vikings offense with J.J. McCarthy looked putrid today against the Bears. Maybe it was the Bears. Maybe it was the Vikings. Who knows? But now you've got to get that next win as well next Sunday, whether it's pretty, ugly, or otherwise. And then that sets up for the big showdown at noon on Thanksgiving Day. That's what it's all about. A lot of chat messages coming in here as well on the Dugout Chat on YouTube. Again, you can stream us live on Twitter and YouTube. You can message either way on Twitter or YouTube by commenting at WI Sports Radio. KJ in West Allis, you're next here on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show powered by Lakeland University. What's up, KJ?
Good afternoon, Sparky. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
Tommy, you called it. You called it from the jump. They escaped. I was not impressed with this game at all by the Packers. Not on defense, not on offense. As you said, Tommy, the receiving core was terrible today. The defensive backs were horrible today. And look, the book is out on the Packers. You run the ball right down their throats between the tackles. And the Giants did it all day long.
With all due respect to the book, KJ, with all due respect to your book being out comment, I thought the book was out on how to play defense against the Packers, and they ran a bunch of man-to-man defense against the Packers. So I don't think there's a book out on anything. Everybody picks and chooses what they want to do.
Sparky, my point is they had no negative plays against the Giants offense running the ball. None.
Oh, did the Giants have a lot of negative plays against the Packers ground game?
Well, they didn't run the ball that much.
Oh, now you have an excuse for that side. I'm just saying being consistent. No. Just be consistent,
Look,
KJ.
I'm not going to be an apologist for the Packers.
I'm not. I'm just asking, was it the other way? Because you're saying it's on one side of the ball. So I'm just asking you, were they stuffing the Packers in the backfield consistently?
Well, I mean, look.
No. Okay.
Either way. You can answer the question for me if you want, or you can have me answer it for you.
Go ahead, KJ. Tell me.
They were not stopping the Packers, but yet when Jacobs went out, they were not running the ball consistently. They put the ball in Jordan Love's hands most of the majority of the time in the second half. And the receivers were dropping the ball. Luckily, Christian Watson kind of rescued them, so to speak, today, or else they could have lost this game very easily. Very easily lost this game, Sparky. So, again, I'm not impressed with the win over the Giants. And like I said, the book is out on how to beat the Packers. You possess the ball, you keep it on the ground, and you don't throw silly passes like Jameis Winston did at the end of the game, and you can beat the Packers. Same way that Carolina did.
He threw them all game, KJ.
Ago.
They should have had 4 picks in this game. This wasn't that he
exactly.
It wasn't that he threw one silly pass and was carving them the whole day. They made Jameis Winston. He could have been worse than what he was today by a lot.
Absolutely. So should I be impressed with this win? No, I'm not. I'm not impressed at all, Sparky. Thanks for the call.
I didn't think you would be. Thanks for the call. Listen, I'm not stupid. I mean, we knew this coming in. Andy Herman said it during the week. Unless they blow them out, nobody's going to be happy about it. If it's a close game, regardless of what happens, people were not going to be happy and just take a win. And I'm not expecting you to be happy and just take a win. Like I said, there were a lot of bad things that happened in this game, but you overcame it and figured out a way to win the football game. There is something to that.
Can you label this victory as escaping with a win, like KJ
Sure,
just said?
It's fine.
Because I think if the Green Bay Packers would have not won in escaping fashion, that would change the mood of a lot of people.
No chance. If they only win by 7 either way, it doesn't change. Unless they would have won by like 3 touchdowns, Tommy, everybody would have been mad.
But they 100% escaped. They escaped from New York. There was a problem with the kicking department today. There's a problem with the run defense today. And on top of it,
so
they could have buried this team.
Devin
it's not
Singletary,
that they didn't. They could have.
Devin Singletary averaged 2.8 yards. 2.8. Got gashed the Packers with a 2.8 average. Tyrone Tracy averaged 4.5. That is a lot, no question. For the Green Bay Packers, Josh Jacobs averaged 5.7 yards per carry. Only 7 carries on the game. Understood, right? And then he left with that injury. And this is the other thing I was saying. I saw watching it on TV, him grimacing After he came out, remember, he went in the medical tent. Then he came back out on the field and continued to play. The very first handoff, you saw him through the face mask grimacing. They left him out there to play. I'm guessing because he said, I'm fine. Don't worry about me, as he's grimacing play after play after play. Then finally he came out because he couldn't handle the pain anymore and then was out for the rest of the game. Probably never should have went back out there to begin with. No surprise there. Then Emmanuel Wilson, 11 carries, 40 yards, 3.6 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown. They ran it a lot. Yes. Tyrone Tracy, 19 for 88, 4.6 yards. That's too much. I'll agree. Devin Singletary, 16 for 44, 2.8 yards. Winston had 3 carries for 3 yards, or 3.3 yard average, 3 for 10 yards. To say that they were getting gashed and so forth, not necessarily the case. But they were getting yards when they needed to get yards to keep the Packers defense off balance. Absolutely. And I promise you, Matt LaFleur is jealous of that game plan, because if it was up to Matt LaFleur, I'm sure he'd love to run the ball 37 times or whatever it ended up being. Yeah, 35 times like the Giants did. That's exactly, I'm sure, how the Packers would want to play offense if he could. Let's go to Justin in North Carolina. You're next here on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text Line. What's up, Justin?
Yo, my guys, man. Hey, first of all, Emmanuel Wilson out of the CIAA championship, Johnson C. Smith Bulldogs. Great. Hey, look, man, I'm a little bit more positive. I think the kid Tracy, he ran the ball well. I think Jameis Winston, this is who he's been his entire career.
Correct.
He can make some of these mid throws and get the ball down the field, and he's going to throw you a couple. And like your guys used to work with, Sparky, he throw you 2 or 3. And we got to remember, do I feel like the Super Bowl flag is going to come out by the Green Bay Packers win today? No, maybe not. But how different would this be had they lost that ball game? It's good to win. We've lost so many close games. So I get it why a lot of people are frustrated and stuff like that. But I thought Jordan Love had a good game. I thought Emmanuel Wilson played good for Jacobs when he went out of the game. And the New York Giants had a great game plan, and those guys stepped up. Their tight ends and their wide receivers made a lot of good plays. 89 caught everything that was thrown to him, and Jameis hit him at the right time. He's a veteran quarterback. So solid win to me. Is it the best win in the world? No, but it's something to build on. It's a lot better than listening to the fan all week had they lost and worrying about, folks like myself off the I-540 bridge, right?
Mm-hmm. Don't worry. People will be jumping off the bridge tomorrow regardless, because Tommy will be leading the way for him to jump. So don't you worry, Justin. You are still going to have to deal like they lost tomorrow. Appreciate the call. That's exactly what's going to happen here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. I'm telling you right now, people in Wausau listening on the game, people in Duluth Superior listening on the game, people on WNFL in Green Bay, everybody, they win, and I promise you that tomorrow there will be a negative tone to every show that you listen to on the Wisconsin Sports Network.
It didn't have to
almost
be.
A Sports Radio Network.
It didn't have to be. It is the Packers' fault. They should have made Jameis look terrible. They could have made Jordan Love look much better today. This is Green Bay's fault that they did not cover the spread, that they did not look more impressive.
Stupid spread.
I'm telling you that this team dropped 7 passes on offense and 5 passes on defense. They could have absolutely capitalized and brought a little bit more joy to a Packer fan base that has been nothing but negative over the last 2 weeks, and they just refuse to capitalize.
All right, let's get to some of the messages as well on YouTube and Twitter coming up next, plus room for your calls and your text messages and your tweets as well. Follow us on social media at WI Sports Radio, streaming live on YouTube and on X. Green Bay Football Postgame Show, powered by Lakeland University. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Tommy Wirtz over there as we broadcast live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Packers get the win, believe it or not, 27-20. Welcome in. It is Green Bay Football Postgame Show, powered by Lakeland University. Packers win 27-20. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer here with you. Tommy Wirtz, other side of the glass. One guy, I say played pretty well. Couple touchdowns, including this one.
Love and a high snap. Floats it. Watson up top. It is caught. Touchdown Packers. Green Bay's got the lead.
I'll tell you what, everything about that was top notch. From the throw to the catch. Tough snap. Jordan Love is able to handle that. He's throwing to the field. He likes his matchup with Christian Watson, but especially throwing into that corner. I mean, that's basically dead in the teeth of the wind. He cuts it right through the wind, and he loves it. That's what I'm talking about. But Christian Watson has been their big play guy. Great at making plays above his head. But now you see him going for two. Trying to make this a 7-point game.
They'll probably go for it for two regardless of the wind conditions today here to try to go up a touchdown and a point after. Love, dancing, floating in, and it is held on to by Wilson.
So those two highlights, the touchdown, the two-point conversion, courtesy of Fox, as the Packers win 27-20. Got a bunch of talk and text line text messages coming in. Always open for you as well. If you want to vent, if you want to yell and scream about a Packers win, feel free. 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Got one here from the 208. The point is, you can run on the Packers D. The book is out. So I was like, oh, okay, well, the book is out. Fine. Let's go back and let's look at player stats and see if the book is out. Saquon Barkley ran for 60 yards and averaged 2.7 yards per carry against the Green Bay Packers in their game for Philadelphia. I believe that was last week. Now, obviously, Rico Dowdell, they ran for over 130 yards. So, okay, no question there. They had a big game, and you're right. They ran all over the Green Bay Packers in that one. The Steelers game, Jaylen Warren, 13 for 62 yards for the Pittsburgh Steelers in that one. We'll continue to go back. Let's go back to the Cardinals game, and let's see what the Cardinals did. 14 for 57 yards for Bam Knight for the Arizona Cardinals. That was the leading rusher in that one. Let's go back to the Bengals game, and let's see what happened there. I was at that game. Chase Brown, 9 for 42 yards for the Cincinnati Bengals in that one. I mean, you're right. They are absolutely getting killed on the ground. Let's go to the Dallas Cowboys game now. Oh, look, Javonte Williams. He almost got to 100. 20 for 85, averaged 4 yards per carry, 4.2. And the Cowboys scored 40 points in that game, and you still didn't have over a 100-yard rusher in that game for the Cowboys. Let's see here. Where are we going next? Oh, the Browns game. They lost that game 13-10 to the Cleveland Browns. Let's see for the Cleveland Browns. Not a 100-yard rusher there either. Judkins did have a big game, though. 18 for 94, so he did average over 5 yards per carry. So that's a pretty much a majority of what we saw this year against the Green Bay Packers.
What are the team totals, though?
You mean team standings?
No, I'm talking about the team rushing numbers. You can't just say, oh, one guy didn't do anything. They got outrushed today by the Giants, and the entire week it was how terrible the rushing defense is for the Giants. I understand Josh Jacobs went
rushing
down.
Defense.
Yes, and they got outrushed today because they should have absolutely rushed for more yards.
So you're mad at the Packers running game. You're not mad at the Packers run defense.
I am mad at the Packers run defense.
Well, then why do we care about the Giants rush defense if we're talking about the Packers rush defense?
Because I'm saying that they should have absolutely ran for more yards this week than the Giants did.
So then you're mad at the Packers offense.
I'm mad at both. Yes, absolutely I am. What are you pointing at today that you were like, that was good?
No, I'm not pointing at anything that was necessarily good at this point. But this is my
thing. You can't selectively say they haven't given up a 100-yard rusher when they're getting outrushed by teams.
Rico Dowdell got over 100 yards. Yes, he did. 142 yards to 128 yards.
Yeah.
That was the total rushing numbers. So you want to put in the quarterbacks running the football and all of that into total rushing yards, right?
Yes.
So if Malik Heath gets out and runs for 5 yards, that should count. I don't give a crap about that. Unless it's a quarterback. But a lot of times they're not designed runs. It's Jameis Winston. And again, this wasn't the case, but It's Jameis Winston on a broken play running upfield. Jordan Love on a broken play running upfield.
Jameis Winston got 10 yards on a QB sneak today.
Yes, okay. One play, correct. And that was stupid. I agree with you. Right? Drew Brees is like, that must be a record on a quarterback sneak. I don't know. I guess I'm not as worked up over it as everybody else is about this rush defense being all that bad. It doesn't concern me really nearly as much as it does y'all. Listen, you scored 27 points in a game you're supposed to win. They won. They scored 27 points in a game despite having, 7 or 8 drop passes by their offense, by their offensive line not being very good for most of this game and getting blown up inside. So you overcame all of that. I don't know, man. I'm pretty happy with how this whole thing turned out, considering, again, a lot of what went wrong. Now, next week is the Minnesota Vikings. Will they play better next week, or will the drops continue? If the drops continue, then yeah, eventually it's going to catch up to them. It's going to burn them. But this is really the first game all year where you had a ton of drops in a game that the Packers had to deal with.
Yeah, and I also am happy that the Green Bay Packers won the football game today. But when I point to where should I look for my cause of happiness, I'm struggling. Christian Watson,
you like Jordan Love.
I do like Jordan Love.
So there's your cause of happiness.
Well, no,
I helped you.
Jordan Love still needs to play better, and this wide receiver room really made his day look much worse than it actually was. I think two things can be true, but I'm looking at where this team missed so many opportunities. And yes, they escape with a victory over the New York Giants, but they should have dominated this game. And you cannot let opportunities like that go away when you are playing divisional opponents or playoff contenders or Super Bowl contenders all season long. The Giants are a dumpster fire organization, and they have been for a long time. They rock out there with a quarterback who hasn't had a starting job in 5 years and a brand new head coach who's never coached a football game, and they still don't have moments of impressive.
There was a person on the station, I couldn't remember who it was. Somebody said something about a new coach bump going into this game that could happen. Who said that?
Everyone plus me. Yeah.
You said it though, right?
Absolutely.
And now you're mad about it? Because you said it was going to happen, that they would be inspired and ready to play for Kafka.
And they looked inspired. They looked inspired for a Giants team.
It happened like you said it was going to happen.
Yes, and I wanted Green Bay to combat that.
They did. They won.
I will say that I don't believe that I found myself yelling at Matt LaFleur very much today.
Other than when Matt LaFleur couldn't get a play call in 9 out of every 10 times, and they were breaking the huddle with 10 seconds to go on a regular basis.
Yes.
That is on LaFleur. The one time they got to the line, there was like 3 seconds left, like timeout. I can't even get set. And the camera goes to LaFleur, and LaFleur literally is talking to himself. And he's like, call the damn play, Matt. He was mad at himself because he was so indecisive, it appeared, because of how long it was taking the Packers to get out of the huddle. In getting plays into Jordan Love, it was giving him less time at the line of scrimmage to dissect what was going on in front of him and get guys in place. So if you want to be mad, yeah, you can be mad at LaFleur for that. The kicking fiasco, a majority of y'all wanted this to happen. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to hear boo out of majority of y'all, because most of y'all wanted McManus cut. Most of y'all put the other guy in. This guy's awful. I don't care that he's hurt. He sucks. When they said he was listed as doubtful yesterday, I laughed. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. This last week, during the broadcast, McManus said this was the healthiest he'd felt all year. And the next game, he's doubtful now all of a sudden, after LaFleur said all week he was kicking well in practice.
Yep.
That was a joke. So I laughed at that one. I said, okay, cool. Let's see what happens. And what happened? You put him into swirling wind conditions and everything else that wasn't going to let him play nearly as well as maybe he could have played. And it was a complete fiasco out there kicking the football.
I don't think
and then Malik Heath apparently is in the doghouse. I don't know what he did.
Yeah,
he got left behind on the trip. Didn't even make the trip to New York because he got told to stay home. So he irritated somebody.
And I still think that the kicking game is not even near the top of my list. It might be top 3, 4 conversations that need to have about fiascos with this team, in my opinion. It's not above the O-line or the wide receiver room. It's not. And it might not be above the cornerback room. It's not above that either.
What's it about?
I'm saying those 3 issues are much bigger issues in the kicking game, and look at how terrible the kicking game looked today.
The only issue I have is this offensive line has to get better.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're going to drop 7 balls in another game this year, or at least they better not. the offensive line is my concern. If we're going to talk about where are your concerns, Sparky, after this game, the offensive line is.
Absolutely.
But guess what? We talked about this during the week that the Giants got a bunch of studs that can get after the quarterback. This wasn't breaking news either. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's been pretty good in his NFL career. It's happened. Abdul Carter, they drafted him at the top of the draft for a reason. What did I call him?
You called him DeMarcus, also an NFL player.
Sorry,
who was really good.
Dexter Lawrence.
Yes.
But Dexter Lawrence has been pretty good too. Not DeMarcus Lawrence, but still, they had problems up front. And they had problems. Why? Because Jordan Morgan was a horrible draft pick, like I said when they drafted him, can't play guard. They knew he couldn't play guard in training camp, and that's why they were going to have him at tackle, because he knew he struggled. Meanwhile, you've got Belton. Somebody explain to me why he can't get on the field. There's no way he's worse than Morgan. On the one play, Morgan went inside to help the center while the other guard was helping the center. They had 3 dudes on one, and the other defensive tackle went right up the middle, untouched, because Morgan blocked the wrong guy.
Meanwhile, John Runyon looked like a dog for the Giants today at guard, by the way. In case you missed that, he was pushing them back every time.
Yeah. I just, for me, that is the biggest thing for me is offensive line play has to get better. The drops by the DBs, obviously you want to see that change. Obviously you want to create turnovers. I get down with that. I hear that. I just think that and the wide receiver drops was just a culmination of maybe everything going wrong in the same game.
And the defensive drops.
Do we think, yeah, the interceptions and then the wide receiver drops, right? I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you'll yell at me later in the year and be like, it happened again, Sparky. I thought you said it wouldn't happen again. I just don't think you're going to have 7, 8 drops in another football game the rest of the year. And if you do, then you're really going to have issues to talk about. I think that's an outlier. And then the issue with the cornerbacks dropping balls left and right also, I'm hoping is an outlier at this point. All right, let's get some of the message on YouTube and X. You can live stream us their message along at WI Sports Radio. You can also dial it up on the Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. Sparky here with you along with Tommy Wirtz. Packers win 27-20. What do you got?
Yeah, let's go to Jeff right away. Got to give some credit to Malik Willis coming in clutch today. Yep. I think that his drive when he had the 16-yard run and the touchdown, both massive today for Green Bay, and then ends up being the difference as well. Rainbow Trout, if a team needs a big conversion, throw at Keyshawn Nixon. It was a rough day for Keyshawn, too. It did feel like he was getting torched the entire time. Beat a bad team, a lot to fix as they head into a streak of 3 divisional opponents in a row in 14 days. That comes from Reign of C as well. And I think that that's something that I really want to try to hit home too, Sparky, is that I am not rooting for this team to play bad or look bad. And I care so much about this Packers team that if they want to be taken seriously, they need to capitalize more within the first snap of the game and the last snap of the game.
Yeah, I think everybody would agree with you on that. Packers win 27-20 over the New York Giants. Green Bay football postgame show powered by Lakeland University, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you.
tight end Josh Wiley. His second game with the Packers, and he's got the touchdown to give them the lead.
Highlight courtesy of Fox. Josh Wiley making a name for himself in his first game there with the Green Bay Packers. Sparky here. Tell me where it's over there. Packers win 27-20 over the New York Giants in New York. Green Bay football postgame show powered by Lakeland University, live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Lots of frustration, anger, disappointment boiling up in Packer Nation today. After way too many drop passes, 5 1/2 in the first half. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Brutal.
Lots of dropped interceptions to go along with that, too. And there's lots of plays. Like Edgerrin Cooper had to do dead to rights in the backfield and just swung off of them and missed, and dude ends up getting a first down. There's so many instances in this game that you can point to and just shake your head like, oh, my goodness, like, that's a horrible play. That's a horrible play. That's a horrible play. And then your kicker is atrocious as well. And again, swirling winds. They kept showing how strong the wind was, whatever. So maybe that's the out for Haversick. But either way, a lot of things went wrong in this game for the Packers, and they still won 27-20. Let's go to Justin in Oconomowoc. You're next on the Nicolay Law Talking text line. What's up, Justin?
Hey, Sparky. So I called in on Friday talking about how I need to see more consistency out of the offense over the next few weeks to really give me more confidence.
Yep.
And you calculate the 7 drops. I mean, outside of that, I feel like they did something today. They scored points, which is fantastic. This is what we want. Like you were saying, my big concerns, obviously the offensive line, right? And then my other concern, which I don't know if you talked about this, I got you on late. Why are they breaking the huddle with less than 12 seconds
Yep,
left?
I did talk about this.
Consistently.
So this is on LaFleur 1,000%. In fact, the play where they had to burn that timeout later in the game because Love got to the line with like 3 seconds to go or whatever, the camera panned to LaFleur, and you saw LaFleur just say, just call the play, Matt. Literally is what he was screaming to himself as he was walking down the sidelines. So I'm pretty sure most of that was on LaFleur for simply not having the play ready to go when they needed it.
Don't most coaches have like 2 plays ready to go for the next play, depending on what happens with the play they just called, so they can get a play in rather than waiting until the play happens to make a play call? That's more infuriating to me than anything because we're getting to the line with 4 seconds left. He can't do anything.
Correct.
He's got to call the play that's called in. He can't even look at what the defense is doing.
Correct. 1,000%. Yes.
So that's frustrating.
Yes, absolutely it is. I totally agree. I said that earlier. Justin, thanks for the call. Absolutely it is. That's on LaFleur. LaFleur can't blame Stenovich. He can't blame anybody else on his coaching staff. You're the dude calling the plays. And again, when people go about, no, he should give up play calling and so forth. Well, dude, if you can't figure out a play call sooner or quicker than that, then maybe there should be a conversation about somebody else calling plays. I think he's a good play caller, but you have got to be quicker getting the play into Jordan Love to get to the line of scrimmage and then decide what he's going to do, to look over the defense and so forth. Like, I also understand that there's probably frustration built in. You saw some emotion on Jordan Love today, built into Jordan Love and built into Matt LaFleur with all these damn drops that keep happening. I'm sure there was some of that, right? So he's like, okay, this play's going to work, and then I'm going to do this. And then, boink, off Romeo Doubs' hands it goes.
Yep.
Ah, crap. Now I got to come back and do something different than what I was planning on doing. So, and I'm sure I've not heard LaFleur, but I'm guessing it's going to be, hey, man, with all these drop passes, it's hard to get into a rhythm every time I think something's going to work, and it did work, and then we can't execute it.
Well, and that's one notch in Jordan Love's cap, where he had opportunities to convert, and Romeo Doubs let him down, and Christian Watson let him down, but he continued to go back to these guys because he knows he can trust them. However, 4 targets for your rookies in Savion Williams and Matthew Golden. That's all they had today. And Savion comes up with maybe the catch of the day if it's not Christian Watson's touchdown. And Matthew Golden, a big play as well, too, and drew a pass interference that was crucial in this game. And yet they still continue to just leave these guys in the dust and do not drop anything creative for them.
Another 3rd and long for Green Bay. 5th body coming for the Giants' pressure. Love with time. Waving receivers around. Off the back foot, he launches it downfield, and it's caught by Savion Williams. The rookie comes up huge on 3rd and long.
That was Toyota-thon stuff right there, because Toyota-thon started this week. That was Toyota-thon stuff, because literally when he threw that, I was like, oh, no, it's going to be a pick. Well, look, I mean, because again, like he said off back foot, it was a chuck it up. I was like, oh my God, he did it again.
That was a big throw. That was a
Huge
talented throw.
Yes,
and
it was.
I thought the
Yes.
Christian Watson throw was one of the best throws of the season for this team.
The one
too.
he dropped?
No, well, that was a good
That was
one
a
too.
damn good throw.
That was a great throw, but I'm talking about the touchdown,
Yeah.
trying to be on a more positive note
Two
for you here.
defenders, by the way.
But
Two defenders.
Just this Packers team, a joke right now on what they don't capitalize on.
All right, it is the Green Bay Football postgame show powered by Lakeland University. The Packers come up victorious today, 27-20, as we broadcast live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Coming up next hour, we'll hear from Matt LaFleur and we'll hear from Jordan Love.
Game is over. What went right and what went wrong? It's time for the Green Bay Football Postgame Show, brought to you by Lakeland University. Experience it your way. Visit lakeland.edu. Let's get to your hosts of the show, Steve Sparky Pfeiffer and Tommy Wirtz, on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Packers win! Packers win! Yeehaw! The Packers win 27-20 on the road in a hostile environment in New York against the Giants. They never even went to the silent count. Giants fans that were there weren't even really getting it loud at all. There were Packer fans everywhere. So, yeah, that was quite funny. Packers 27-20 over the New York Giants. Sparky with you. Tommy Wirtz over there as we broadcast live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sports Book. Nicolay Law Talking Text Line open for you as always, 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. On the text line from earlier on the 414, Schlitz Hat Patrick here. This game is why I need to self-medicate with tall, cold ones. The line, the drops, and the freaking penalties. Yet, here we are, and let's go. Right. Packers win. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. 262. Do you think the pass interference call for the Packers on their first scoring drive was correctly called? It's the real difference in the game. It's impossible to be a good DB in today's NFL.
I actually thought the Isaiah McDuffie, I know he never turned his head on his pass interference call.
And the tight end had him on holding him on his back.
Right.
But
I kind of thought that was not necessarily pass interference on Green Bay. So if they're talking about the one on Matthew Golden where he ran into Matthew Golden, I thought that was more pass interference than the Isaiah McDuffie one was.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Golden was trying to fight back for the ball because it was underthrown by Love.
Yeah.
The DB ran into him, then turned his head after he ran into him. Drew Brees is like, well, you got to turn your head. He did, but it wasn't until after he ran into him to find the ball.
Right, and that's why Mike McDuffie ends up getting called for his because he never turned his head, but he didn't really make contact with him. It was the tight end making contact with McDuffie by grabbing him, trying to go around him.
I saw a guy, Tommy Wirtz, was telling me that Malik Willis popular in the Matt LaFleur presser. So I like, you know what? We should talk about Malik Willis a little bit more. So first off, Malik Willis does stuff, if we're being honest, does stuff that maybe you don't necessarily see all the time one way or the other when you have Jordan Love in the football game and doing his thing, right? It's okay that that's the case. But with Malik Willis, somebody was texting me earlier about, hey, man, no, it was you, Tommy, about the offensive line, not necessarily protecting maybe as well for Jordan Love as it was for Malik Willis, but it was because of plays like this.
3rd and 8. He's going to keep it. He's got this element to his game, and there goes Malik Willis for a first down into the New York red zone. Impact play by Malik Willis, who's averaged better than 5.5 yards a carry for his young NFL career.
That was for 16 yards on a 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
You can't, ask Jeff Hafley, because this is how he plays mobile quarterbacks. You can bring the same pressure when you have the threat of the guy going upfield 20, 30 yards if you miss.
How many?
So you have to play it differently, and it takes pressure off the offensive line.
I mean, you had a guest virtually every day of Wisconsin Sports Daily, which you can hear 2 to 5 every weekday.
I had no guests on Thursday. Thank you.
Okay. Virtually was the word I used before. But all of the guests you had on, I feel like you brought up the same conversation of why did they abandon play action pass, right?
Yeah, that
ran
was a heavy coming out today.
Huge topic for you. I think they had the first of all, the first completion on a play action pass today came with Malik Willis. Didn't come with Jordan Love.
And Drew Brees on the one play action pass goes, look, they've run play action, was it 3 straight times, 4 straight times? And as you can see here, none of the receivers are getting open, is what he said.
Yeah, and the offensive line cannot hold long enough on play action, it looks like, either. That's the problem. I think that the problem with play action is the offensive line and the wide receivers. I don't think it's a Jordan Love or a Matt LaFleur comment at all. And maybe it might even be a kudos to Matt LaFleur for not calling it more with how terrible those 2 units have been playing.
I think you just have to continue to hammer it home. I'm not changing my opinion on that. 262 says, let's see, the point is you can run. Oh, no, that's an old one. I'm sorry. I should read these ahead of time. Back to Malik Willis. So I was looking at Malik Willis's contract, $1.1 million base salary this year. Malik Willis is a free agent after this year. He's 26 years old only, not old, 26 years old. So he'll be 27 in 2026. So I was like, okay, so what type of money are backup quarterbacks in the NFL making this year? just to kind of see where everybody's at. Tyrod Taylor is making $6 million as a backup in New York with the Jets. He's your highest paid backup. I mean, I guess you can include Kirk Cousins, who's the highest paid quarterback in football right now at $27.5 million when you talk about base salary for this year. But Tyrod Taylor, $6 million in base salary this year. Other backup quarterbacks, Jacoby Brissett, $3 million. Kenny Pickett, $2.6 million. Trubisky, $2.5 million. Do you go to Malik Willis and go, hey, dog, give you $5 million a year for 3 years, 3 at 15 to stay in Green Bay and be the backup quarterback to Jordan Love, or 3 at 12 million, maybe you go $4 million a year, something like that? Or do you think Malik Willis goes, no, I think I can get a starting quarterback job. I'm out.
I wonder where he would have that opportunity to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
That's my thing.
I don't know where it works, because I do believe that he's coming up on his free agency at the wrong time right now, because I do think he could have an opportunity to be a guy, but I look at Cleveland maybe, but they just got Dylan Gabriel. He's only a third rounder, so I don't think they're married to him next year, but as bad as Cam Ward has looked in Tennessee, it seems like you got to go 2 years on the number 1 overall pick at least, right? Bryce Young just went for 400 yards today for the Carolina Panthers.
Panther fans are killing Bryce Young and the Panthers offense for not doing anything in the second half, which is hilarious.
The Atlanta Falcons are going to rock with Michael Penix. The Raiders just signed Geno Smith. I don't know where his opportunity comes, because the Giants are going to rock with Jackson Dart next year as well, and the same opportunities that he's getting this year. I think that we would have been excited last year if the Packers would have made Malik Willis the highest paid backup other than Kirk Cousins in the NFL. Sure. And to have an opportunity like that today for him, where he comes in, makes a huge play on the rushing yards, throws for a passing touchdown today, I would absolutely give Malik Willis the second highest paid backup quarterback role right now.
I think I would definitely consider it. Now, again, he may not want to do that. But again, when Jordan Love went down today after he took that hit, and again, he didn't slide. The one time he did slide today, the dude hit him, and they didn't throw the damn flag.
I think he did miss him. It looked like it on the replay that the arm might have came like close to hitting the helmet, but it was not helmet to helmet.
Love sat up, was like, "Where's the flag?"
Yeah, I'm in.
That's
what NFL players do. They're looking for flags.
I understand. Just like NBA players are looking for whistles. It's no different. Speaking of Jordan Love, let's hear what Jordan Love had to say after today's game. And I'm assuming there won't be a lot of questions about Malik Willis in the Jordan Love presser. I could be wrong.
Think about it, and kind of went off schedule. I was in the pocket, had time. Didn't like the obviously initial read, and just went on scramble drill. Told him to go deep, and he did a good job, kind of wheeling up, and just threw him up. A 50-50 ball. He went up and made a big time catch for us. So just a really phenomenal play by him.
Were you able to see the end of that? See him actually catch the ball?
I saw him go up, saw him catch it. Obviously I can't really tell from that distance, if he completed it, all that stuff to the ground. They said it was a catch. We were about to go fast, and they said, no, it was a catch. So, I saw the initial part.
What does that do for you as a quarterback when a guy makes a catch like that, especially in that moment? Catch.
No, it's big time. That's kind of how the game went. We're getting a lot of man coverage, so it ended up being a lot of kind of one-on-one plays for guys. And for Say to come in that situation, hadn't caught too many passes that whole game, and then to come in and make a big time catch on in a crucial situation when we got to have it was big time. And I think it gave everybody a lot of juice, a lot of energy to be able to go finish that drive.
What was the discomfort in your left shoulder like after that scramble?
Yeah, it's tough. Went in, got evaluated, and figured it was good enough to come back, so came back in. But it was definitely not fun. It's just a small injury. So we'll reevaluate it when we get back, look at it, see what's going on. But it's not fun.
Did you hear what he said?
What do you want me to hear?
Asked about the injury.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I was good enough to go back in. Then said it is an injury and we'll reevaluate it when we go back. I really hope, for everybody's sake, and y'all can love Malik Willis all you like, and that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, if this dude can't play and if he's out for any apparent amount of time after this, that is not good news for the Green Bay Packers as far as making a Super Bowl run or anything of the sort. Like, they need to have Jordan Love out there. Now, the fact that he was able to go out there and play is great, but you and I both have seen people go out there and play for 2-3 plays after they get hurt or whatever, like Josh Jacobs. He was hurt. They put him in the tent. They sent him back out there. I can play. And he's grimacing like after every run. And then eventually I can't do it no more. I'm out. And then go back, check his knee for whatever it may be. And he doesn't come back out on the field. And they send Jordan Love back out there too. And again, non-throwing shoulder. If that's a throwing shoulder, then maybe they act a little bit differently. Non-throwing shoulder. But still, if it's we'll see what it is. But if it's anything that could be worse by taking a shot in that left shoulder, it could create even more pain going forward. They're going to have to make a decision on what they want to do.
Could you imagine if hypothetically this was a long-term injury and Malik Willis had a long run in the postseason and the Packers make a decision to rock with Malik Willis? Like, how many teams would give up their starting quarterback now for Malik Willis, but how many teams would give up their starting quarterback for Jordan Love? Way more teams. Way more.
I don't know. You're saying if the Packers want to win a Super Bowl with Malik Willis?
Yeah, and I'm not calling for Malik Willis, but I was just thinking of this hypothetical on I'm struggling to find the teams based on their quarterback situation now that would give Malik Willis a chance. But
most of the quarterbacks in this league would take Jordan. Most of the teams would take Jordan Love.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing. Like
Pretty sure the Vikings would after watching J.J. McCarthy.
Right. I completely agree. But I don't think they would give Malik Willis a shot next year.
He wins a Super Bowl?
Well,
I don't know about
if
all
he
that,
won.
man. I don't know.
If he went out and won a Super Bowl,
and then he goes into free agency. You were just talking about how it's bad timing.
Might be great timing if there's an injury.
Let's just hope he's not hurt seriously, please.
No.
Moving on with Jordan Love.
What do they do when they take you in there, Gordon? I mean, do they X-ray it? Do they tape it up? Do they put ice on it? What are you doing going there?
Yeah, you get X-ray, get taped up, and see if it's what kind of the severity of it is, and if you can come back. But it happened on the hit. Lowered my shoulder, and he gave me a good pop, so felt it right away.
So you get an X-ray, and then we'll see how bad it is, and then it's up to you if you want to go back out there and play again. So I'm assuming the follow-up's going to be, what did the X-ray show? Is that the follow-up?
I didn't listen through Jordan Love. I clipped up LaFleur first.
How'd you do it? How'd you feel on the play?
Yeah, it was, run to the sideline and, thought I was able to make a move and didn't. So he was right there and, lowered my shoulder. Wish I, would have just went out of bounds or tried to slide right there and, got a good hit.
Did it affect you the rest of the way at all? I mean, was it tough to take a snap or anything like that?
No, it was definitely manageable. I'd say that. Something I was able to play through, but it definitely was there, but it was manageable.
See how the touchdown to Christian.
Yeah, another play. We had one-on-one coverage. Christian kind of running a slot fade right there, and gave him another jump ball, and he went up and made a big-time catch right there, big-time play.
A jump ball like that, I'm sure there's a placement that you want to put it, but how much of it is just the receiver's got to make a play on this?
Yeah, you're seeing the one-on-one, trying to see if he's winning over the top, and I try to put it up for in a place he can go make a play. Obviously, we're dealing with the win and things like that. So, I'm not trying to throw a perfect ball, just throw him one up that he can go make a play on. And he did a great job, going high pointing that ball and come down with the catch. So that was a big-time catch by him. Christian, two phenomenal catches for touchdowns today.
What was the win factor today? And from your sideline, which way was it blowing? It was hard to tell.
Yeah, it was hard to tell. It was kind of swirling a little bit. I think it was going more toward, pushing towards our locker room where we came in from. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's a windy day. We deal with it in Lambeau all the time. So got to find ways to make plays and try not to, let it affect some of the balls too much. But, for receivers, it's moving around a little bit. So they just got to lock in a little bit more on some of those catches. But I think guys handled it well.
Gordon, obviously it's the next man up lead, but without Josh for a lot of the game, what do you guys have to do to adjust as an offense, and how do you think it works?
Yeah, I don't think you have to adjust too much. I think obviously it's tough whenever people go down, but like we always say, next man up mentality. Emmanuel Wilson came in. Obviously he's played a lot of ball, but he did a great job tonight. Just finding ways to keep going. Like I said, I don't think we changed things up much, kept going with our plan and our scheme, and he made some big-time plays in the run game. Obviously, the 2-point conversion was big time, some big time things in the pass game and pass protection as well. So he did a great job.
Can we talk about this for a second, Josh Jacobs? Because we still don't know how long he's going to be out for. I'm assuming it'll take a day or two before we find out about Josh Jacobs. With that being said, as good as Josh Jacobs is, Am I wrong to think it's not going to be as big of a deal as maybe people will look at it to be?
Oh, I completely agree with you. You know me, I'm Emmanuel Wilson's #1 fan. So I have no issue rocking out there, giving him a full game's worth of carries to see what he can do, because every time it seems like his number is called upon, he's not disappointing, at least, right? And there's been multiple times where I have been disappointed in the play of Josh Jacobs this season, and at moments too. So yeah, I mean, as great as Josh Jacobs is for that locker room, that's his best trait right now for this Packers team, is leadership. And it is something that Green Bay seems to be struggling with at some point this season too. And it's nice to rely on Josh Jacobs for that leadership. But as far as play on the field, no, I'm not really worried about it, to be honest.
On the chat, YouTube and X chat, you can watch us on live stream at WI Sports Radio, Facebook, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Timothy says, did you see the hug LaFleur gave Parsons at the end of the game like a child embracing Santa? Ha, ha, ha. I've never seen Santa. 27-20, Packers lose to the New York Giants.
Was that a play on Christmas? You love Christmas more than anyone else.
Never seen him put presents under my tree. Green Bay Football Postgame Show powered by Lakeland University as we broadcast live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur. We'll hear from players inside the locker room. Ryan Wood, the Green Bay Press Gazette, Packers beat writer, will join us as well. Still room for more of your calls and text messages as too. Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250. 414-677-1250. Packers win, baby. They win. Whether you want to admit it to yourself or not. 27-20.
Winston fires. End zone off target. Picked off. It's Evan Williams with the interception. They have come close and close and close all day. And Matt LaFleur and Jeff Hafley's defense finally gets the takeaway they've been looking for.
Packers win 27-20. It's the Green Bay Football Postgame Show powered by Lakeland University, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you. Tommy Wirtz, other side of the glass. And now we got to talk to this dude.
What happened in today's game? It's time to go inside the locker room with Packers beat writer Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press-Gazette on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Joining us now, he is the aforementioned Ryan Wood. Follow him on X by Ryan Wood in New York. Ryan, the Packers won. You'd think they lost based on fan reaction?
If you consider a season kind of like a round of golf, this will be a lot easier. It'll be perfect to match up when they go to 18-game schedules. But let's say each week is a whole, right,
sure.
in a round of golf. This is a par. There's nothing wrong with the par. You got to hit a par sometimes. Certainly not a birdie. There's no birdies out there. It's not a bogey. It's just a par. Like, they needed a win. They got a win. They did not look good. This is not a great football team right now, the Packers. And there's a whole lot that they have to be better at if they're going to start shooting birdies. But it's a par for now. And there's nothing wrong with the par in the middle of the season.
But it's how they got the pars what people are mad about, right? You hit it. You sliced the crap out of the first one. You hit the second one into the sand trap. The third one came up just short, and then you put it in to get that par. They weren't pretty shots to get to the par, but you got to the par at the end of the day. I mean,
they scrambled.
They had 5 drops by their wide receivers in the first half. Like, 5 drops in a game is bad. To do it in a half of football is insanity.
They had 4 drops by their DBs, right?
Yeah, that too.
Evan Williams, finally, 5th time's the charm. Literally, they were 0 for 4 on Jameis Winston presence, gifts, until Evan Williams came down with it finally. Yeah, the drops are terrible, and I get it. Like, the wind is hellacious out there. At one point during the middle of the game, I looked at my weather app and said consistent 17-mile-an-hour winds with gusts of 34 miles an hour. Sparky, when I walked into the stadium today, I had to get a second credential because from the parking lot, the wind ripped the first credential away. It was a hellacious day for anyone that's trying to track the movement of a football, but you still have to make those catches. I asked Christian Watson if he even noticed the wind. Like, what did the wind do on that second touchdown catch? You only say, I couldn't tell you. Wasn't focused on it. That's exactly how you deal with it. Like, you got to zone out and make a play. And I think for this Packers offense, it is high time to make targets a meritocracy. I understand you want to scheme guys open. And I understand Romeo Doubs gets open a lot. But if Romeo Doubs is getting open a lot and dropping 3 passes in a game, you got to go to somebody else. You can't live with these kind of mental issues, focus issues, mistakes that are self-inflicted week in and week out. You have to make it a meritocracy and throw the ball to guys you trust to make a tight corner to catch in the corner of the end zone. Like, it's past time to do that.
I don't disagree with you on that at all. The other thing that was driving me nuts throughout this game was how late it was taking them to break the huddle and get up to the line of scrimmage. I mean, Jordan Love was getting up to the line of scrimmage regularly with like 9 or 10 seconds left, maybe. And then the play where they had to call the timeout because, again, he got up there even with less time than that. The TV camera goes to LaFleur on the sidelines, and you see LaFleur put his head down as he's walking on the sidelines and says, just call the damn play, Matt, because he was mad at himself for not getting the play in on time to Jordan Love. That type of stuff can't happen. If you're going to be the play caller and the head coach, you have got to have a play ready as soon as that play is over previously.
It just feels like the Packers offense is trying to do too much. They're trying to get the ball to too many people. I don't know how many people had a target today. Last I checked, it was like 9. They're running in different personnel groupings damn near every play. And sometimes if you're doing a lot, less is more. Like just do a little less. Focus on what do you do well? Not even what you do well. What do you do best? What is your best stuff? And just whittle it down to that and focus on that relentlessly and make the defense have to stop that. Instead of trying to do everything and try to just spread everything out and do it all at once, just whittle it down It's an operation. It's an offense that's just trying to do too much, Sparky.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Tommy's favorite player, Malik Willis. I'm being sarcastic. Tommy was so bad listening to the Matt LaFleur presser. He's like, why are we asking all these questions about Malik Willis for? Talk about the drops. But Malik Willis gets his opportunity there and scores a touchdown and looks good doing it. The ability to run with the football too. And him and I were talking about this earlier, which is, that dude's going into a free agent year. The highest paid backup, if you take Kirk Cousins out of the situation, it's Tyrod Taylor at like $6 million. Like, is there a world where the Packers go at him with like 3 at 15 or 3 at 12 to keep him around?
That's a question for the offseason. I haven't looked at the cap situation near enough to know if that can work or not. I know it's going to be
dire
tight.
straits. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know how to make that work. But Tommy, they won a game today because Malik Willis was being asked about.
See that?
No, they did not win a game because of
Yeah,
Malik.
they sure did.
They won a game because the Giants are garbage. That's why they won the game today. Malik Willis kept them on track. Absolutely. Ryan, what does this offense do well? If they got to focus on what they do best, what do they do best?
First of all, two things can be true at once. The Giants are garbage, and they won a game because Malik Willis came in and finished a touchdown drive.
Fine.
And that's why you don't trade him before the season, because if you're a team with Super Bowl expectations, you do not trade a backup quarterback that you can win with and can finish a touchdown.
That's what the Chiefs are thinking too. It's like, we can't get rid of Mahomes' backup. Josh Allen can't get rid of his backup. That's what Super Bowl teams think of, Ryan.
And there's a reason for that. There's merit in that, Tommy. I hate the I hate backup quarterbacks bubble, but it's real. All right.
Okay.
All right. So what do they do? That's much more difficult. I thought that Josh Jacobs was certainly on his way to having the type of run game that you expected against this terrible Giants run defense until the knee injury. That's going to be something. I don't know if Matt LaFleur mentioned. By that time I was in the locker room, so I haven't heard those comments yet, but that's going to certainly be a concern. They have not run the football well. They have not been near efficient enough in the passing game. And while I do think the self-inflicted things are the number one thing that they have to, that's where you start to fix this offense. Those other reasons are why that's not just self-inflicted. Like they have to execute both areas of offense better. No question about it. They need to protect better. They need to run block better. They need to throw the ball more efficiently. And today, again, Jordan Love, 6 of 13 in the first half. Of those 7 incompletions, 5 were dropped.
Yep.
And a 6 was batted at the line of scrimmage to a wide open Josh Jacobs. I don't really know what else he should do there, but they have to be more efficient. And then you've got to maximize the run game. It's not a lot that they do well, but within that, and Matt LaFleur's got to figure out what is it that he is most confident in. What is it that he feels like this personnel, like throwing the ball to Christian Watson, just like good things happen to Tucker Kraft. Good things happen when he threw the ball to Tucker Kraft. Good things happen when you throw the ball to Christian Watson. You got to throw it to him more. What do you have, 5 targets today? He could go double that easy. Yep. Like, you got to throw it to your best players more.
Speaking of that, what good things does Luke Musgrave do?
Oh, good question.
Here's what I don't get. Oh, it's like they put Luke Musgrave in the Tucker Kraft role instead of changing the offense to maximize what Luke Musgrave does well.
That's exactly
what
they
things
did.
Does he do? He stretches the seam. He makes catches downfield. He's a tremendous route runner downfield, and he's got decent enough hands to maximize those opportunities. Why is he running a bunch of checkdowns?
Yep. That's exactly what they did. You're
that's
right.
What Tucker Kraft does well.
Yes.
I don't understand that at all.
Yes, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what they did. They took Musgrave and said, okay, now you're going to run the Tucker Kraft plays. It's exactly what they did. There's
That's
no
not what he
question.
does.
Yes, it's exactly what happened on that one.
It's like asking me to go run 5 miles. That ain't happening. It's not what I do well.
I got one more for you. Of the guys that got hurt today, who is the most important that they get back and isn't out for a long period of time? Taking Jordan Love out of the equation. Obviously, he came back.
Oh,
because Quay Walker's pretty important.
Yeah, it's got to be Josh Jacobs, though. This is an offense that still needs to run the football like it did last year to be what it can be in the big picture. You can't run the football. Who cares about play action usage? It doesn't matter because you're not presenting a run threat, and defenses aren't going to respect it. So play action's out the window. You have play action out the window, then good. Now the Giants played a 1-of-1 high today, which I don't understand, and that's. What are they looking at? like I could not believe how much one high safety that the Giants had. But for most teams that aren't 2-9, you can expect to see a whole lot more two safety. You don't have to play action. Good luck getting them to get big plays against two high safety. It's just, I think Josh Jacobs is the heart and soul of that offense, and without him, it makes a big difference.
He is Ryan Wood. Follow him on X by Ryan Wood, joining us here on the Green Bay Football Postgame Show, powered by Lakeland University. Ryan, thank you so much for coming on. Safe travels home, buddy.
Take care, guys.
There he is, Ryan Wood, joining us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Aaron in Waukesha, you're next after the Packers get a 27-20 victory over the New York Giants with me, Steve Sparky, Pfeiffer, and Tommy Wirtz. What's up, Aaron?
Hey, guys. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Matt LaFleur, and I've kind of seen this over the course of the year, but it seems like he's overwhelmed. It seems like he needs a co-coordinator or something like that, because he routinely is aggressive when he's conservative, and he's conservative when he's aggressive, and he doesn't seem to have a really good flow of the game with regards to getting the offensive in rhythm. And I guess a good example would be that 3rd and 2, the second to last series, right? He didn't seem like he read the room very well. Like they just got off a really long drive. The defense got off a long drive for a score from the Giants.
Yep.
The defense was tired, right? And they really needed to get that 3rd and 2. And what does he do? He throws a long pass, right? Instead of prioritizing getting the first down, giving the defense a rest. I'll let you guys go ahead and talk about it.
Thanks for the call. This is the thing. At one point, if you go back to the Mike McCarthy days as head coach, but if you remember, McCarthy gave up play calling because he felt like he wasn't as involved in knowing what the defense was doing, what the special teams were doing, because he was so wrapped up and only caring about the offense. So he gave it up. Then Tom Clemens took over offensive play calling. You remember that next year to start off the year. Lasted like 4 or 5 games, and McCarthy grew tired of watching his offense and said, to hell with this. I'm going to go back to calling plays again and make sure we can still score some points here, because it wasn't going well with Clemens and Aaron Rodgers running the show at that point. For me, or was it Favre? Was it Favre and Clemens or Rodgers and Clemens? I don't remember.
It was both, right?
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. But either way, he took it. He got rid of it. It didn't work. McCarthy took back over the play calling at that point. This is something that is very difficult for a play caller to give up when they are a head coach, because you're really going to have a ton of trust in that other person to call plays. You saw it in Detroit with Dan Campbell. He trusted Ben Johnson to make the calls and let him do what he had to do. Then John Morton takes over this year, and the Lions were scoring points, but they weren't scoring points the way he wanted them to score points. And he gave them a heads up of what he wanted to see. They weren't able to do it, so he goes, to hell with it, I'll do it myself again. So he took back over play calling for the Detroit Lions. So, yes, while I agree that Matt LaFleur maybe not calling plays might be better as far as the overall flow and so forth, as far as what's going on, and for him to be more aware of what's going on and maybe be better as far as running the clock and being in charge of the clock. I agree with all of that. They don't got a guy that can do a better job than he has, for me at least. And I haven't heard anybody else suggest somebody that's a better play caller than Matt LaFleur on that staff right now. So from that perspective, they have to continue to roll with him. Now, if a McDaniel pops up out of nowhere, available out of Miami, if he eventually gets canned, then sure, I would listen to McDaniel being the offensive coordinator and LaFleur being the head coach, and McDaniel takes over play calling. I'd be wide open to that possibility, because he also believes in running the football like LaFleur, and they're super tight. So I'll get down with that. But as we sit currently, Tommy Wirtz, I don't think there's anybody that's a better play caller on this staff.
Yeah, and I think over the last 3 weeks, like, this was 100% Matt LaFleur's best called game.
Right.
I mean, it's not even close. I think this was Jordan Love's best played game. I don't think it's close. I think that watching this game, I can't find a reason to be overly mad at those two players, and those were the two player and coach rather, yeah. And those were the two guys that most people were mad at over the last 2 weeks. And this was not on Jordan Love today. This was not on Matt LaFleur today. That has made me angry about watching Packers football. It was the wide receiver room. It was the offensive line room. It was the cornerback room. It was the kicking game. All of those much bigger reasons to be upset. And for people to, I can't believe how many Malik Willis questions there were in this Matt LaFleur presser, in which we'll get you a little bit of it on the other side. But Jordan Love, his day got ruined because of his teammates today. And it was a fine game on paper still. He should have been way more impressive on paper today.
And they would have scored way more points had they caught the damn ball.
Absolutely. And you talk about that 3rd and 2, Aaron, where he was upset that they went for it and he's not worried about it. He's just chucking the ball down the field on 3rd and 2.
Super long drive by the Giants where they turned it over.
That was the second best throw of the day for Jordan Love.
Yeah, it was.
It was a dot. It was dropped. Again,
Watson.
Understandably, you're mad because they went down the field when they only needed 2 yards. Would you rather them run inside zone and hear the New York Giants yelling inside zone here on that 3rd and 2 play like they would have done anyway?
They did run inside zone in the beginning of that game, and they got it first.
I know. I saw it. You saw it. I wrote it down in my notes here on when they did. It was 3rd and 2, and they ran it.
And Jacobs went the right way. He went left, which is what he was supposed to do in the Eagles game. But because they called the play, he panicked and went right and got absolutely annihilated. If he goes left in that Eagles game, they get that first down on 4th down. But regardless.
Unreal.
Sparky here, other side of the glass. He is Stubby Wirtz. We'll hear from Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. We'll hear all about Malik Willis apparently as well. Tommy is so mad. We'll talk about that coming up next. Packers win. Packers win. Be happy. 27-20 over the New York Giants. It's the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios where we're broadcasting live, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Green Bay Football Postgame Show, powered by Lakeland University. Welcome back. It is Green Bay Football Postgame Show, powered by Lakeland University. Steve Sparky Pfeiffer here as we broadcast live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Great place to go watch your games at, right? I mean, there's not many better places to go watch football at. Everybody, when we do our Follow the Money segment on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with Austin Herdania, the last 2 weeks previous to this last Friday, they weren't the top game being bet on, the Packers game, right? They weren't there. This week was the first week since Pittsburgh, where all the money was flowing towards the Packers. It was the number one game where everybody, the Potawatomi Sportsbook, was putting their money. And interesting happenings on that one there, Tommy Wirtz.
A push. I mean, it's just
winner Potawatomi.
Well, it's that, people in Vegas need to be running the country sometimes. It's ridiculous how
Potawatomi Sportsbook. I ain't talking about Vegas.
Yeah, but they get their odds from an odds maker that they do in Vegas. They don't make their own odds in state. Potawatomi's awesome. Look, I'm not no shade at Potawatomi. I'm just saying that lines for sporting events are the most accurate thing always.
I think
ridiculous.
They should hire you. You should do the lines.
Oh, I'd be terrible. I'd be so bad at it.
Those line makers make a lot of money. Here is Matt LaFleur from after the game.
All right. Obviously, just extremely happy with the win. We definitely didn't make it easy on ourselves, but bottom line is we overcame a lot of adversity and found a way. And that's sometimes what it takes in this league. And so we'll celebrate it tonight and move on to the Vikings tomorrow.
How concerned are you about Josh's knee injury?
I think anytime a player doesn't, especially of his magnitude, but anytime a player doesn't finish a game, you're always concerned about the welfare of them.
Matt, what did you think of just how Malik came in?
No, that was huge. We don't win that game without Malik, and I can't say enough great things about Malik Willis. He's a great competitor. He's so calm. I mean, just he was in there in some critical situations. We had some third downs. We called the zone read, and he uses his legs, which it was kind of when your starting quarterback is out, and then you have your backup in there, and you call a zone read, you're a little bit concerned about that in that moment, just because you can't have anything happen to him. So, but. He made a lot of plays in the game, and obviously, we don't win that game without him.
What are your thoughts about every once in a while taking your quarterback off the field and having a package of plays for him, for Willis?
Terrible question.
To come in?
It's certainly up for discussion. I mean,
Worse
it's just
answer.
hard to
Worse.
take your quarterback off the field. So, I know there were some game plans last year where we had a 2 QB package, and who knows? Maybe we'll see that come back.
Pause it. Stop. You cannot tell me that after 2 passes and 6 plays that now the entire offense is going to change and they're going to have to draw stuff up for Malik Willis. You are laughing at that. You are the problem, sir. You are the problem. That is ridiculous. You should be ripping Matt LaFleur a brand new one on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, tomorrow, Wisconsin Sports Daily, that's going to be a topic.
No!
Do you want to see Malik Willis packages for this Packers team? I'm doing it as a topic and maybe as a poll question, too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'm doing it both ways. Yes, both ways. It's going to be brought up tomorrow. 2 to 5, Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. Jacob Morley from Packer Report will join us at 3 o'clock tomorrow.
If I was Ed Policy, I would make myself call the plays. I wouldn't even fire Matt LaFleur. I'd keep him on there. I'd keep him on it, and I'd go down. I'd Carly Ursay that. I'd be down on the field.
Stop.
I'd have a thing in my ear, and I'd be calling the plays. And I would say, okay, this package doesn't include Malik Willis. Bone right 24 power on one-on-one. Ready? Break. I would say Malik's not coming in every time.
Drew Brees knows all about being pulled off the field. Knows all about it.
No.
Watched it happen for years with Sean Payton. You know what? Matt LaFleur's first call is going to be on Monday. Hey, man. Hey, Sean. We talk about some packages you ran in New Orleans. I'm thinking about doing some good stuff here with Malik Willis.
That is a desperate head coach.
Just saying.
That is a desperate move.
Let's go back to the desperate head coach.
I feel like that kind of gave you a jolt, just a change of pace and something that the defense isn't ready for necessarily.
I think, but we've played enough football with Malik Willis where, we feel like we can run our whole offense. Like, I didn't feel like we had to deviate at all from the game plan. Matter of fact, that exact play we had in for Jordan. So it's not like we deviated from the plan at all.
How bad it was tough? How bad was the wind, and which way was it blowing relative to your
Great question,
sideline?
Pete. I still don't know which way the wind was blowing. I mean, it was all over the place. I knew when I woke up this morning, I looked outside and I saw the flags, and they were just straight as an arrow. I was like, oh, okay. It's going to be a windy day. I thought they did a good job by taking or when they won the toss to take the ball. That's exactly what we were going to do, to try to play for the wind in the fourth. But I still don't know how much of an impact that truly had, because it was kind of swirling. It felt like it was mostly blowing towards our sideline. But it was certainly a factor in some of those situations.
What do you think the way Jordan played today?
It was so gritty and tough. He was under duress, it felt like, quite a bit. And I thought he did a really nice job of just giving guys opportunity to make plays. Certainly had a lot of drops today that we were able to obviously overcome, but just the mentality, because, when you're your quarterback's in the locker room, it's not a great feeling.
So there is Matt LaFleur from after the game of today. Some of it, it's not all of it. We only got a couple of minutes left here, obviously. But here's a little Malik Willis. That's the guy y'all want to hear from after the game.
What's your mindset when you go out there in the middle of the drive? Execute the play as called. Your keeper, was that an option, or was that just a straight run for you? The 16-yarder was like your second play.
Oh, that was we read it.
What'd you see?
Open space.
First down. Good hard hitting back and forth.
What's required to come in cold like that off the sideline during just the middle of the game, but a middle of drive? Like, what goes through your process to be able to execute? But
I mean, you don't get the pick, obviously, so you just kind of try to stay locked in and do the best you can. Just grateful and the opportunity to go out there and do a little something on my dog get right.
Feel a little different than a year ago when you're still relatively new to this offense, having the full year like you have now?
I mean, as far as executing the plays, for sure, but that feeling of not being in and snap of a finger having to be in, that never changes for anybody.
What about the touchdown? I'm sorry, Ryan. The touchdown to Christian. Can you kind of take us through what all went into that one?
Just try to stop him with the ball. They kind of overplayed the play. BB did.
Okay. He mentioned that he wasn't supposed to be in that spot. It's kind of backyard football at that point. He kind of adjusted. How did you see it in terms of him adjusting to know that he was going to be, I guess, where he wasn't supposed to be in the right place?
I mean, they covered the initial route, so we just tried to make a play. And I wasn't going to be able to run because Brian Burns is potting out on my back. So I had to give him a chance.
At what point did you see him and think, okay, there's a chance that even if he's not in the place where it's drawn up on the playbook, right?
You don't really do all that thinking when you're out there. You just play ball. I can't say at a certain point. You just go out there. It was covered initially, and, we just reacted together.
There is Malik Willis after that one. A lot of Malik Willis talk tomorrow on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Stop.
It's going to be a good day.
No.
6 to 9 tomorrow morning. Malik Willis talk with Tommy Wirtz, Trevor
Won't talk
Thomas.
about it.
Trevor's going to be all about it tomorrow morning on Inside Wisconsin
Not even
Sports.
going to
6 to
remember
9.
his name.
9 to noon with Kuhn, John Kuhn and Rami Makloff. Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thundernell, brought to you by Verizon, noon to 2. And then back at it 2 to 5 tomorrow with Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's with yours truly. Enjoy the rest of your night. Packers get a win. Go celebrate. Have one. Have a cold beverage. 27-20. Green Bay football postgame show powered by Lakeland University. Live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Toodles.